Every year, it's no different. The VMAs are always some Masonic ritual right there in your face with the checkered floors and the over-sexualized, the LGBTQ agenda. And this year was no different. And I actually haven't seen any Christian channels covering this yet. And I guess pretty much because it's the same old, right? But for those who might be new to this stuff, who might be waking up in the year 2025 and all this is kind of new to them, I want to show them. I want to show you how to break free from this system of the matrix of indoctrination, propaganda, and satanic agenda that is coming against the masses through programming. They literally call this stuff programming for a reason, because it's programming you. It's being broadcast. This spell is being broadly cast over humanity from Hollywood, the witch's wand. But I want to show you, I didn't watch the VMAs, obviously, but I did look up, was there any LGBTQ plus representation in the 2025 MTV VMA Awards? Now, this year was different. I don't know if they did this last year, the year before, or what, but MTV VMA Awards used to be on MTV. This year it was on CBS. I guess maybe it was airing simultaneously on both, but you know, MTV can usually get away with a little bit more because it's a cable channel. So they were a little more risky with some of the things that they put on television, but CBS, that's like regular broadcast television. And I can't believe, as I was skimming through each of the little performances, how just blatantly sexual it was. Like the stuff that they show on the VMA Awards in front of millions of people in the audience and in their homes watching this, they show more on stage than the strip clubs used to. Like the burlesque shows and all that stuff. They covered more than what happens now. And it's just really mind-blowing. If you can't see that we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah right now, the days of Noah, the days of Lot, you know, Jesus talked about what will be the signs of his coming will be, he said, it'll be like the days of Noah and of Lot. So the days of Noah, it said there was only evil continually in the hearts of men, in their minds. You know, their thoughts were only evil continually. Now think about that. That sounds like, whoa, that's way out there. Like there's still good people in the world and all that stuff. But think about it. If you are entertaining your mind with things that are over-sexualized or full of murder, think of every video game that's out there, how every video game is over-sexualized, murder, and demonic, occult. I mean, there's all these occult symbols and stuff everywhere. So I did a presentation on gaming. 2/3 of America play video games on a regular basis. So that's a lot of the population who are playing these violent, over-sexualized, occult games. That's going into your mind. People are watching MTV. They're listening to the music. They're watching K-pop Demon Hunter and all these things. The thoughts of their mind are only evil continually. Are we in the days of Noah? I believe we are. What about Sodom and Gomorrah? What was Sodom and Gomorrah's sin? Everybody recognizes them for one obvious sin, because we even still use that word today, sodomy. They were turning their lust one to another and all this stuff, right? Men with men and women with women. That was like what they were known for. Now that's being pushed like crazy. Now I keep hearing people say, oh, you know, Trump's going to shut down pride and woke and all this stuff, man. It's all an agenda. Like I hope you guys see by now that left and right, red and blue, are both two wings of the same bird. I mean, don't fall for this Jesuit theater. It's all bogus. Don't fall into the trap of, oh no, we got a good one now. Like he's changing everything. He's getting rid of all that woke stuff. And man, he's doing some great things. Look, if all you can do is bring normal back, that's really not doing anything positive. It's not. It's order out of chaos. They have given us chaos so that they can bring in a new world order, right? When the world stage is set and everybody's crying out, something needs to happen, we need change because we're in utter chaos, then that's when Satan appears as a cosmic Christ and brings in a new world, peace and safety, right? The Bible says when he says peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. All right, let's get into this, because I just wanted to set the stage about the time that we're living in. We're living in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, the days of Noah and Lot. And I asked, was there any LGBTQ representation? I knew there was without even asking, but it says, yes, there was a significant LGBTQ representation at the 2025 MTV VMA Awards, including high-profile performances, multiple winners, and red carpet attendees. Key moments of LGBTQ representation included Sabrina Carpenter's performance. During the performance of Tears, Carpenter showed strong support for the trans community. She was joined on stage by drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race and dancers from the ballroom scene. They held signs with messages like "Protect Trans Rights" and "In Trans We Trust." What does that come from? What normally does that phrase say? In God we trust. I mean, to take "in God we trust," remove God, and to place trans is as blasphemous as you can get. It's literally setting Satan, saying, in Satan we trust. If you can't see that, you're spiritually blind. Baphomet is a trans being. Female on top, male at the bottom. Baphomet represents Satan. Satan's agenda is trans, LGBTQ, everything perverted sexually that God had created. They're saying, in Satan we trust, literally right there on the sign. Conan Gray's, I haven't even heard of these people. Conan Gray's performance. Gray incorporated LGBTQ themes into his performance, like vodka cranberry, performing a gay Romeo and Juliet with actor Corey, whoever. Ariana Grande's speech. While accepting the award for Best Pop Video, Grande closed her speech by saying, "Thank you to my therapist and gay people. I love you." I was actually blown away by that. Like, that was her whole thank you speech. I mean, I don't know. She had a speech, I guess. But her thank yous, usually it's like, I like to thank my mom and my dad, and thank you, God, and thank you, the team and the producers. Oh, no. Thank you, my therapist, and thank you, gay people. I love you. Wow. I mean, it just seems so forced. Already, I know that there's a lot of people like Madonna and stuff who are just so pro-gay that they're like, look, I'm going to put this in everything because she's just kind of a rebel like that. But this type stuff, like this year, it just seemed really forced. It was really a politically driven propaganda, and you could see right through it. Like, it wasn't even hiding it anymore. Like, this is literally, we're trying to brainwash the masses. Ricky Martin, the gay artist, was honored with the Latin Icon Award. So he came out many years ago as gay. LGBTQ artists and allies. The event saw a strong presence of LGBTQ celebrities on the red carpet, including Doja Cat. I didn't know she was... Oh, well. Okay, so this is LGBTQ artists and allies, it says, right? Okay. So Doja Cat, Youngblood, Rebecca Black, and Conan Gray. So there's a lot of representation this year. This is LGBTQ Nation, where they're talking about "In Trans We Trust." So oh my goodness, just look at this scene. You see right here, though, on the signs, this is activism. You know, they're out there with their picket signs saying, "Love each other." Like, these are good signs. These are good signs, right? Love each other. But they're twisting what love is. Love means I have to support you in wanting to change your gender, like change your biology through chemicals, your biological makeup, mutating what God has created you to be because of a mental disorder. That's loving you? No, that's not loving you. Loving you is helping you through this. You would never do this for an anorexic. You know, if an anorexic woman, she's 90 pounds, and she keeps saying how fat she looks, and yet she sees her ribs and her hips are poking out, and she goes to a doctor and says, "Hey, Doc, I need a liposuction. Would it be just for that doctor to perform liposuction on a woman that's 90 pounds? No. He'd be saying, no, you are not fat. You need to see a psychologist or something, because this is a mindset. This is not a reality. But yet Satan has twisted the minds of the masses into thinking, no, if you're a man, if you're born a biological man with a penis and you feel like a woman, then that's not a mental disorder. That's a reality, and we need to make it a reality. The thing is if it's a reality, you don't have to force it. You don't have to cut things off and take hormones and things like that to change who you are. There was this movie, a documentary called What is a Woman? And it was like, it's like the easiest question to answer, right? I mean, you can ask any kindergarten, they can tell you what a woman is. He actually went to Africa or a country like that because he was being told gender roles and all this stuff. That's just a Western social thing. You know, it's like it was forced on us. It's a mentality or whatever, a tradition. So he went out to other countries and he said, what is a woman? And they're like, oh, you know, a person that can give birth. Like, easy, right? And he said, can a man be a woman? And they're like, no way. No. It's just crazy. We live in a bizarro world where the simplest question can't be answered, because if you answer the wrong way, you might be blacklisted, lose your job, possibly go to jail if you don't use the right pronoun or something like that, right? So this is a crazy world we live in. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 all the way. And you know, the Bible talks about that we're going to be reaching a day of Babylon. He says, come out of Babylon. What does Babylon mean? Babylon means confusion. And if you're confused about what gender you are, that's Babylon. And so when you see a sign that says love each other, it's just, the reality is you're not loving to support somebody who wants to change their biology, because one day they are going to regret that decision. When you no longer have a member that you used to have, you're going to regret that decision. And no matter how depressed and suicidal you thought you were, you will be even more so when you've had an irreversible surgery that cannot be reversed. That's just the facts. And so you see stuff in here like goodbye, you know, goodbye, but it's bi. So they're saying it's good to be bi. You can tell, right? This is like obvious. This is not even hiding it anymore, that this is politically driven propaganda, brainwashing the masses. It's just crazy. Lady Gaga, she's always, you know, pushing the agenda of born this way and all that stuff. You see this red filling up, right? This is literally red fluid that is filling up the walkway like a red carpet. If you don't know what the red carpet represents, this is a very good hint. They're literally showing you what it means as the red liquid, which I would assume is blood, is filling the walkway. So when you saw a red carpet, you might have just thought, oh, it's just like fancy or whatever. No, this is telling you exactly what that red carpet represents. Let's play this some more. You can see phallic down there. Everything's about phallic. Okay, so up here in the back of the stage, it looks like a goat head or a bull's head or something. You see the horns and the eye sockets and everything. I think it's actually two cherubs, what they like to call cherubs, those babies with wings. See, Satan's twisted everything. The Bible talks about cherubs as giant angels, powerful angels, but somewhere down the line through the generations, now when we hear the word cherubs, we think of little babies that are playing harps and have wings and stuff. But all of this is intentional. These aren't accidents like, oh, I don't know why those angels looked like a goat head. No, that was purposeful. And here she is in this very tall, towering dress. But I want to show you that nothing that she does is original. All of this, look at these movements she's doing. Look at the tall dress. She's actually possessed right now. The way she's moving, that is not a dance. There's nothing talented about twitching around like that. These are kriyas. if people who get involved in yoga start getting into the kundalini, they will have these uncontrollable twitches that are called kriyas, and she's making a theatrical performance out of demonic possession. And so you'll see her twitching around and stuff. But she's not the first one to do this tall dress and twitch around like that, because remember, I'm old school. I grew up on Marilyn Manson. And so he would often do these big stilts with a dress on. So, I mean, she literally ripped Marilyn Manson off. You can see right here. Look, and he's even got a cross up here made up out of guns. So, I mean, that's very Lady Gaga as well. So there's that. And then in the Beautiful People music video, you'll see the twitching and everything. The twitching going on and the tall dress wearing stilts and everything. I mean, literally the same demon that was in Marilyn Manson, or maybe still be in Marilyn Manson, has just went into Lady Gaga. And so when I was like listening to Marilyn Manson, it was edgy, it was gothic, it was not mainstream. Of course, MTV played Beautiful People, but it wasn't something that you would bop around to while shopping at Walmart. But now, this is what I've been trying to tell people, is that Satanism has gone out of just the metal world. It's not just rock and roll and metal and gothic music and all that stuff. Now it's in pop music. Now it's in rap. Now it's in hip hop. Now it's in even country. I mean, Taylor Swift was a country artist, and now she's an open witch. And of course, she's more pop now. But if you ever hear a Lady Gaga song, I mean, some of them might be dark, but the ones that you like catch while you're shopping around at Walmart or something, they're very pop. I mean, the imagery doesn't even match. That's the craziest part. The imagery doesn't match at all what you're hearing. I mean, do you remember Kiss, the band Kiss? They had all this white makeup on and black leather and, black markings on their face and everything. And literally the Gene Simmons would flick his tongue around and blood would be all over his chest. And then when you hear the songs, it's like, I want to rock and roll all night. Or what was the one? It's like, I was made for loving you, babe. And it's like, the imagery doesn't even match. It's so crazy. But it's all about pushing Satanism into this pop thing. Something that's catchy, something that a lot of people can tap their foot to. And then they're like, wow, let me see the music video. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. And it's just every generation gets desensitized a little bit more to this stuff. Doja Cat, she, has a music video where she's dressed up like a straight up demon. But right here, this imagery is literally the Masonic checkered floor with the staircase. Like, if it was just checkers, you could say, oh, it was just, some designer picked it because they thought it looked cool. But these stairs go to nothing. These stairs have no purpose except for the symbolism of Freemasonry. So she's walking along on the checkered floors, which is all about duality, the black and white, light and darkness coming together, having a balance of good and evil, like the yin yang, right? That's duality. The yin yang symbol means that you want to have a balance of good and evil. But what does the Bible say? The Bible doesn't say make sure you have equal parts of evil as you do good. No, it says to flee from darkness altogether, to not even have fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, right? So this whole idea of duality and, as long as you have an equal amount of good and evil, then the world's a good place. No, it's not. We should have never known what evil was. That's why God was trying to say, do not eat from this tree, because it's the knowledge of good and evil. He didn't want us to know about evil. He didn't want us to know about death and murder and violence and thieving and all the things that are the opposite of his commandments. He didn't want us to know those things because they bring pain, misery, and ultimately death. But if you're not familiar with this imagery here. You know, a lot of people in here might know all about this stuff, but there's people every day that are waking up and discovering new things that are going on behind the scenes. Here's one picture of the staircase, the checkered floor, and the staircase that's kind of windy, right? Just like in Doja Cat's set right there. Here's another one. You see the stairs that are winding and going up to this star up there, which I'm sure represents Lucifer, because these people are Luciferians. If that's new to you, then you got a lot of research to do. Look into Freemasonry. Look into all these artists are into Freemasonry, the Illuminati, all that stuff. So remember this, the black and white, the checker, the duality, because it's going to keep showing up. But I want to show a closer look at the staircase. So here's the staircase, the winding staircase on top of the checkered floor. This is not an accident. This is not a mistake. This was literally done purposefully to show their allegiance to who they serve, because their master, Satan, has made them a god on earth, rich and famous, and put them on stage in front of millions of people. And so, of course, they're going to give thanks to their God. Lady Gaga's song that she performed here was called Abracadabra. And so Abracadabra is witchcraft. It's a spell. When you look up what is the pagan origins of the phrase abracadabra, it says that it goes back to, while many theories connect it to pagan, Jewish, and Gnostic origins, none have definitive documentation. The word first appeared in the 2nd century AD in Roman medical poem, where its use was already linked to magical rituals to cure fevers. So possible pagan connections, Abarax, let's see. This was a phrase that was put on amulets. And it says, Aramaic phrase, many believe abracadabra comes from the Aramaic phrase Abracadabra, which means I create as I speak. Now, what is that? Who did that? God did that in the beginning. In the beginning, God spoke and it was. He said, let there be light, and there was. So for anyone to say abracadabra, as I create as I speak, is to say that you are God, which is the New Age religion that goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. New Age started, it's nothing new. New Age started with the serpent in the garden when he told Eve, eat this fruit, your eyes will be open and you will be as God. You will not die. You'll be as God. You'll be all knowing and enlightened, right? And so as I create, I speak. This is law of attraction, manifestation. All of these celebrities say this is what they practice. This is actually how they rose to fame. Many of them say I wrote myself a check for $1 million and I was speaking that thing into existence. And a year later, bam, I got that $1 million and I manifested it. Right here, what is the occult origins of the phrase? Are debated, but are tied to ancient languages like Aramaic and Hebrew. Now, when you see this Aramaic and Hebrew, don't think like, oh, this is like God's language then, right? No, this is talking about the Kabbalists, the Kabbalah, the people that the Zionists, the people who rule the world are these. They're not even Jewish. A lot of people, you'll hear this term. You'll hear people say, oh, the Jews rule the world. The Jews run Hollywood and stuff. These white men with little curly locks and the black hats, those are not Jewish people. Those are not the Jews of biblical times. These people that fly a hexagram on a flag, that is the occult. The hexagram is an occult symbol. It's one of the most satanic symbols ever. So don't get that twisted. These are the Kabbalah, and it says, I create as I speak and all that stuff that we just read about. Symbolic use, the triangular form was believed to funnel and drive sickness out of the body with a letter removed from each successive line until only an A remained. I saw that actually illustrated, and it's basically got the word abracadabra and it spells it underneath, but it removes a letter and it keeps removing a letter until it's a triangle. and they're saying somehow that was a magic spell to get rid of fevers and disease. But we know that only God and God's medicine that he's created, herbs and things like that, can get rid of sickness and disease. If you're doing a magic spell and that disease is removed, then you have been deceived, and Satan is making you think that he is God. And so now you're falling for these new age practices, crystal healing and Reiki and all these things and magic potions. But that's Satan's deceptive counterfeit of miraculous healings. Because if he puts an ailment on you, like he did in the book of Job, we know that Satan can make boils appear all over Job, right? If he can put that ailment on somebody, he can remove that ailment. And now you believe, oh, I've been healed by this supernatural being or this potion or this crystal. And now you put your faith in that thing. And that's why so many people are wrapped up in the new, even in the Christian world, self-professing Christians are getting wrapped up in yoga and crystal healing and having their tarots read and astrology and Reiki healing and all that stuff, because, and sage, burning sage. Oh my goodness. Like, Satan has deceived the entire world. The Bible says that the dragon is going to deceive the entire world. Now, Kabbalah, this is actually the chakras and all that come from this stuff too. This is super occult. Tree of life is what they call it. But I'm going to show you, for one, you can see the inverted pentagram when you connect these lines here. If you can see my mouse moving on that. And it's got all these words and stuff that, you know, some of this stuff you would think, oh, this looks Christian in some way. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to get back to that. Busta Rhymes came out on stage with his Masonic symbols all over his jacket. If I can zoom in on that, you see the golden phoenixes, this like what we would probably associate with like the British Empire. This red shield. Red shield means Rothschild means red shield, and it has this golden lion standing up and these crowns all over it. And when you look into Freemasonry, that's what you're going to see, these golden eagles with the crown on top, the red crown. And you'll see it on the Freemason jackets and things like that. 33 degree. When you look into it, you'll find that the lion often is represented with Freemasonry. So he's got that lion that's standing up on his jacket, and you'll see right here, you know, the Masonic mentor right here. You have the standing lion on the shield. So Busta Rhymes is showing his true colors here, right there on stage, wearing red and black. Whenever you see red and black together, that is super occult. This is, again, nothing is by accident. These people don't just say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to wear this today. They have people that dress them. All of this is all theatrics. It's all hair, wardrobe, makeup, production, all that, right? So none of this is by accident. Busta Rhymes doing the X across his shoulders, Freemasonry. You know, a lot of this one-eyed symbolism stuff going on here. All these pictures of one-eye symbolism. Hope you can see that there. So he's been showing his colors for a while, doing the hand sign here. Doing the, you know, the shush, be quiet symbol. Oh man, this one's just blatantly obvious. Like, believe me, this doesn't happen by accident. Like, hey Busta, I want to take a picture of you. And you're like, oh cool, let me pose. And put your eye right through your hands, okay? Like this, none of this is by accident, guys. So Mariah Carey, I thought this was interesting. Mariah Carey is old school. There was a lot of old school people at this thing. There was Ricky Martin, Mariah Carey, Busta Rhymes. He's old school as well. And in the back, you'll see these letters. It says M-I-M-I. Mimi is what she's going by now. But what are these guys wearing? Again, black and white and gold. Black and white, the duality again. But what are they wearing on their faces? These, I can't remember what kind of mask they call it. Masquerade masks. These masquerade masks on their faces which go back to these rituals, these Freemason rituals. If you've ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, I never recommend watching the movie, but they showed a lot of that, the secret society, sexual initiations, the rituals that they do. And ironically, this Mimi character that she is, this is one of her personas. She's got multiple personas, just like Nicki Minaj says that she's Roman, a little boy inside her, an angry boy that lives inside her named Roman. Eminem says he's got Rain Man in him. Beyonce says she's got Sasha Fierce in her. All these celebrities, these musicians, these performers, these entertainers are puppets for Satan, deceiving the world. And they all have they call it a persona, but it's a demon inside them. And she goes by Mimi, and she says that Mimi is the one that's the sexual one that comes out because she's more shy and stuff. But Mimi, just like Sasha Fierce, right? Beyonce said she's more reserved and all these things, but Sasha Fierce can sing loud and strong and do all these dance moves that she could never do. And Mimi, that is Mariah Carey's alter ego. And she's got all these guys around her wearing these masquerade masks, the black and white duality. This is all showing you who they serve, what they do, what the initiations are. And this is what they're into. They don't hide it. Again, listen to what she says here.
Like going in drag for Obsessed.
So she's talking about how she went in drag on one of her music videos called Obsessed. Why is there so much push for this? Why this is, like I was saying, it's almost forced. Mariah Carey's impact on the LGBTQ community. This is Mariahpedia, like Wikipedia for Mariah Carey. Notice the butterfly symbol that she always has, right? This goes back to Monarch, MK Ultra, butterfly symbolism. And you see all these guys are wearing that rainbow shirt. That's actually her album. Yeah, her iconic album, Rainbow. And she, every year, contributes to the LGBTQ community. And it encompasses her activism, advocacy, and the deep connection she shares with her LGBTQ fans. So what are we seeing? What is the common thread we're seeing here? Every performance has to include sexuality, homosexuality, Freemasonry or the occult in some way, abracadabra, checkered floorboards, Masonic jacket, right? The ritual of the eyes wide shut, masquerade masks and all that stuff. It's happening with every performance. And here again, I've never even heard of this guy, Somber, I guess is his name. And there he is with the checkered floors. And you see right here, it says black and white because the photos are in black and white. That's not an accident. That's not like, no, come on, man, it's a photo booth, black and white. They created this thing. They didn't just pick it up from some fair somewhere. They made the sign and everything. And notice it's always black, white, and red. Why the black and red all the time? It's all symbolic of blood. Black and white, duality. The checkered floor. He's coming out from behind the curtain, the red curtain. All of this is symbolic. This guy's probably new upcoming artist, and this is, his coming out of the rituals and everything. This was the Conan Gray performance where he's literally, they called it Romeo and Juliet. To me, it looks like Sleeping Beauty, but it's a guy. It's two guys. It's, again, all the red and black, black and white. You see all the duality, the blood ritual stuff. Again, black and white and red everywhere. But this is the reason I kept this on here was because I can't even show her performance was so over-sexualized with men and women dancing around. The men were literally worshiping her. There was like 6 men in their underwear, literally, no joke. And they were just like, every time she'd walk by them, they'd fall to the ground in adoration and worship for her. She's wearing white. She's on the black background, the whole duality thing going on. The red lights are being cast onto the audience. None of this is by accident. You don't just have lighting guys say, oops, I didn't mean to use red. No, it's all purposeful. But what I wanted to point out was she's in this circle. This is how easy it is to just do some research on stuff. In Wicca, to cast circle is to create a sacred, protected space by raising and sealing energy, forming a temporary boundary between the mundane world and the spirit realm, which serves to focus spiritual energy for ritual, spell work, or meditation, and to safeguard the practitioner from unwanted influence. The process typically involves visualizing and drawing a sphere of energy and often includes elements like cleansing with salt and water and calling upon elemental spirits or guardians. I'm going to show these a little. I'm going to go do a little review here. We got the checkered floor, the Masonic checkered floor with the stairs. It's not an accident. We got Lady Gaga singing Abracadabra, again with the black and red, casting her spell, Abracadabra. We got Busta Rhymes with the black and the red, showing his Masonic allegiance right there. We got Mariah Carey with the black and white. I won't stretch and say that's a red background, but she's showing the masquerade masks, the black and white, the rituals that happen. She also pushes the trans movement, the drag queen thing. We got the black and white and red again with this guy. We got the black and white and red with this, along with the homosexual act. We got the black and white and red with the casting circle again, casting the spell over the audience. And this isn't just casting a spell on this audience in the crowd, but also the millions and millions of people that are watching on MTV and now CBS. So this is what I'm getting at. MTV was more of a niche crowd, people that liked edgy things, right? But CBS, fun for the whole family, right? CBS used to show all these funny sitcoms that all the family would sit around and watch. And now they're literally watching a stripper performance, casting a spell in their living room. It's crazy. Ricky Martin, there we already read that he was openly gay. Look again, black and white, duality everywhere. And a lot of the promiscuity and him being gay, all of it's there again, the same routine. Ariana Grande, she had that speech where she said, I want to thank my therapist and gay people. And I just want to show you, Ariana Grande is not innocent either. Right here, back in the day, Break Free, back 11 years ago, with 1.2 billion, with a B, billion views. And there she is wearing the red bracelet, the red thread. Not only the red thread, but remember that Kabbalah tree that we looked at that I said was representative of the tree of life? They said the Kabbalah tree of life, but it had the chakras and everything in it. That is in this music video as well. She's going to show it. Oh, look at that red thread. I'm going to show you all this stuff. The red thread is Kabbalah, along with this tree of life. She puts it in her spacecraft and it powers it. This is pushing the whole alien agenda. Boom. What's going in there? That is the Kabbalah tree of life. This is witchcraft. There it is. There's the symbol in Ariana Grande's video. Now, if I look up Kabbalah red thread, check this out. Look at that. Oh, very interesting. Very, very interesting. The red thread bracelet. I didn't even type the word bracelet. Red thread, it could have been like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a very real thing. She knows exactly what she's involved in. She came up with a song, God is a Woman, and all these things. She's pushing the same agenda. We are living in the last days, where performances are literally satanic rituals right there on stage, being beamed into millions of people's homes on MTV simultaneously on CBS, so even grandma can watch. And what is this doing to people? Televisions went from analog to digital, so they have more frames per second. There's no telling what kind of subliminal messages are being put in there, how many blatant messages that are like picket signs and all this political activism and the propaganda that's right there in your face. and all the subtle symbols that people don't even realize, whether it's a hand sign or a red thread or a Kabbalah tree of life or a checkered floor or just the black and white imagery, the red and black and white. I didn't even get into what the red carpet was all about, but look into the Red Shoe Club. These celebrities are wearing red shoes, and it means something. They're walking upon the blood of sacrifices. That's why they always roll out the red carpet for the celebrities who are walking on the blood. They're taking the, I can't say the word because it'll be flagged, but the young blood, they're taking it to keep their youth and actually reverse their aging. Do not idolize these people. Do not listen to these people. Don't watch these people. Don't support these people in any kind of way. It is time for Christians to start living like Christians, to be set apart from this world, to get rid of the trash and the garbage. And I think it's interesting that in this performance, Sabrina Carpenter literally climbed out of a sewer at the very beginning. She removed a manhole and came out of a sewer. There's some symbolicness with that, but it's also just showing the literal filth and garbage that she is putting out. So if you guys were inspired by this, if you want to share this with people, please do. Please click a thumbs up. Share this with your family and friends. Help us get this into the algorithm. Help us spread the truth, because the masses are being deceived by the dragon who's deceiving the entire world. How's he doing it? Through media. We love you guys. If you would like to support this ministry, you can do so by going to CandidTruthOrg. We got many ways to give, including Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and we even have Patreon. If you'd like to get a cool t-shirt, that really helps our ministry as well. We get about $5 commission from each shirt that's sold. And if you have supported us, we see you. We love you guys. We can't get back to all you guys. Some of it's coming in the mail and letters, and we cannot thank you enough, because we cannot do this without you. This is our full-time job, full-time ministry, and it's thanks to supporters like you that we can continue. We love you. We'll see you next time. God bless.